Welcome to the Devin Haney Media Teleconference. Today, Devin will discuss his upcoming final Eliminator fight for the WBC lightweight title against Zaur Abdullaev on Friday, September 13th at the Hulu Theater in Madison Square Garden in New York, streaming exclusively on DAZN. There will be an opportunity to ask questions after the opening comments. To ask a question, you may press star then 1 on your touch-tone phone. To withdraw your question, please press star then 2. Please note, this event is being recorded. To begin the call, I would like to introduce Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. Go ahead.
Thank you, Gary, and thanks everyone for joining us today. Very, very excited ahead of not just September the 13th, but the career of Devin Haney. It's been an absolute pleasure to team up with him and Bill and Devin Haney Promotions recently. His standout victory against Antonio Moran back in Maryland was just a great performance, obviously. Knockout of the year contender as well. And now approaches unquestionably the toughest fight of his career against Zaur Abdullaev, final eliminator for the winner of Lomachenko against Campbell for the WBC world title. I think Devin is a phenomenon. I think he is a revelation for US boxing. I think he is the hottest young star globally in the sport of boxing, not just in the US. And we are so excited that we get a chance to help represent him, and obviously DAZN get the chance to stream him on their platform. A guy that is ready to fight the best right now. And the reason he's taking this fight, which is a very, very dangerous fight, is because he wants the winner of Lomachenko against Luke Campbell. In fact, he wants Lomachenko. He wants all these guys now. 20 years old, 22-0. Like I said, the hottest prospect in world boxing right now. And what a show on September the 13th at Madison Square Garden. So not just Devin Haney against Abdullaev, but also Danny Roman against Akhmadaliev for the WBA IBF Super Bantamweight World Championship. Probably the women's fight of the year with Serrano against Heather Hardy. Also Michael Hunter against Sergey Kuzman as well. Brilliant heavyweight matchup. It's going to be a quick fire sellout. And I'm really pleased that Devin's got the opportunity to box in New York. You know, we were waiting a long time for Canelo's decision. And in the end, we just took it under our own control and said, you know what? New York City is the perfect place for Devin Haney to invade on September the 13th. They loved him in Maryland. They know him in Vegas. Vegas will come. But New York City is a special fight city, and they're going to turn up for Devin Haney on September the 13th. And we expect another scintillating performance in a very, very tough fight that will put him mandatory to the winner of Lomachenko against Luke Campbell. It has been, as I said, a pleasure working with Bill Haney and Devin Haney Promotions. The professionalism of the team and Devin, the work ethic of Devin Haney is an example to any young fighter. Like he said in his social media post the other day, he is a dog. And I liken that so much to the way that we operate as well. We will not give in. We will drive and succeed to make sure we provide every opportunity we can to match the work ethic of Devin Haney and make sure that he gets everything he deserves and the path that he deserves to take him to multiple weight world championships and pound-for-pound glory, which I truly believe this young man is going towards. So before we move on to Devin, obviously a huge part of the team. In fact, without him, certainly Devin wouldn't be here today because he's his father and coach and mentor and so many things within the camp. I'm going to pass over to Bill Haney to say a few words. Bill.
Thank you, Eddie, and thank you everyone for listening. What a wonderful opportunity this is for Devin to finally get a chance to being involved in the title eliminator. I mean, we've been actually speaking about titles and stuff for quite some time, but to actually be put in a position, you know, we want to thank Matchroom and DAZN for making this opportunity happen. We've been having an excellent training camp, pre-training camp, and as well as beginning our official training camp. Devin is in tremendous shape, and we're looking forward to fighting. And like I said, I just wanted to thank you, Eddie, Matchroom, and DAZN for this opportunity. This is a very big fight for us, and we don't take Zaur Abdullaev lightly by any stretch. He's definitely number 3 for a reason. He with his last performance against Hank Lundy, had a fight in between there, and then he had Hank. We were very, very impressed in terms of the way that he handled Hank. He's a veteran of many years of boxing, both amateur and professional. So we consider Hank a gatekeeper, so to speak. Whether the public perceives him that or not, we know what a tough competitor he is. And for him to go to Russia and fight Zaur is a testament to his mental toughness inside the ring and outside the ring. But fortunately for Zaur, he handled him fairly easy, I would say. So we don't take Zaur lightly at all, and we just look forward to the opportunity on September 13th to show the growth that Devin has put in since his sensational knockout on May 25th.
Thank you, Bill. I'm going to pass over to the man himself. Devin, a few words ahead of your big fight on September the 13th.
First off, I want to say thank you to, everybody, my whole team, my dad, Eddie Hearn, Matchroom, DAZN, everyone that's been supporting me, all the fans. I look forward to, September the 13th, to be headlining in New York. This is a big stage for me. This is also a dream come true. I've always dreamed of fighting in New York. I didn't think that it would come this fast, but, it's here, and I'm ready to, rise to the occasion, and put on a great performance. Training has been going great. I know that Zaur is a tough opponent. I know that he's going to bring his all. He wants to upset me, and take my spot, so I'm not taking him, nowhere near lightly. But, I feel like this is the fight, that's really going to put me right there where I need to be. It feels good to have some structure, to know that, that this is the Eliminator, this is the final Eliminator, and, after this, I won't be fighting for a world title. So, this is all a dream come true. Everything is falling into place, and I'm just gonna go in there September 13th. Show the world, what Devin Haney is made of.
Thank you, Devin. We'll pass over to Gary for questions from the media.
We will now begin the question and answer session for Devin. To ask a question, you may press star then 1 on your touch-tone phone. If you are using a speakerphone, please pick up your handset before pressing the keys. To withdraw your question, please press star then 2. At this time, we will pause momentarily to assemble our roster. Our first question comes from Carlos Toro with Fightful. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Eddie, Bill, Devin, for taking time to talk to us. My first question for Devin, and, obviously with this whole title eliminator, and, when Mikey Garcia vacated the title, or at least his title was vacant, there was a bit of understanding that it would be you and Luke Campbell to fight for the vacant title. Obviously, that's no longer the case. At the time when you found out that Luke and Vasily Lomachenko would be the ones fighting for the vacant belt, and that you were just going to be in a title eliminator, how did you felt when that happened?
Yeah, when I first found out that I was going to be fighting for eliminator and that they were fighting for world title, I was pretty upset, because it was actually going to have to be two eliminators, because I was going to have to Teofimo Lopez was going to fight someone, and I was going to fight Abdullaev, and then they were going to fight, and then I was going to have to fight the winner of that as well. So, I was pretty bummed out. But, everything, happens for a reason. I'm a firm believer in timing is everything, and like I said before, the guys better fight me now, because I'm only getting better. So they waited longer, and I'm only getting better. So, everything is falling into place, and when the time is right, I'll be fighting for a world title.
Well, quick question for Eddie. Eddie, I know obviously, you can't really talk about when Devin Haney could potentially fight for the title if he beats Zaur Abdullaev until we see Vasily Lomachenko, Luke Campbell fight at the end of the month. But do you have personally kind of in your mind a timetable for a potential title challenge for Devin Haney, or do you kind of have to wait to see until Lomachenko and Campbell have their fight?
Well, we had a great chat recently at our show in Dallas with Bill and Devin, and Devin's a young man. He's 20 years old. and there is no question that he's going to move through the weight classes. But when you look at a guy as special as Devin Haney, you don't want to lose the opportunity to win that first world title at 135 pounds, because he's good enough to win that world title at 135 pounds. And when you talk about a guy that wants to create history and legacy, you're talking about a guy that could potentially go up to 154 pounds, I believe, in Devin Haney to win world titles. So if he's got the ability to go even that far, you want to box off 135 pounds. But at 20 years of age, he's not going to stay there for years and years. So really, the reason that we take this fight, even though there is a little bit of uncertainty as to when he will get that world title shot, it's the pressure that you can apply publicly, politically, to say, right, we've won the Eliminator. We want the winner of Lomachenko-Campbell. I mean, if all goes well, our guy Luke Campbell will beat Lomachenko and he'll fight Devin Haney in December. That's a dream scenario for us. You know, obviously Lomachenko's the favourite in that fight, and if Lomachenko was to win, we will get the megaphone out and we will make sure that the whole America demands to see that fight. That's how you get fights made. And I believe that Devin Haney's profile is rising and rising, and people are going to watch him time and time again. And if he can beat Abdullaev, the world is going to want to see Devin Haney fight the winner of Luke Campbell and Lomachenko. They're not going to want to see Teofimo Lopez, Richard Conley. They're not going to want to see the winner of that fight the winner of that fight. They're going to want to watch Devin Haney box the winner of that fight. And it's our job to make sure that we apply the pressure whilst not looking past Abdullaev, because it's a tough, tough fight. But also knowing that we must get that 135-pound world title shot within the next 6 months.
You know, you mentioned right before Devin was talking about having to wait for Canelo making his decision on fighting on September 14. Then, you know, then came that he's not fighting September 14. Was the plan to have Haney fighting in New York, you know, something that you kind of wanted to do for a while, even almost immediately after he fought in Maryland? Or was that something that you kind of scrambled together to try to make sure you get a big card, at least on that date?
Do you know what? I shouldn't really tell you the truth, but I'll tell you the truth. I should tell you this was planned all along. But we were waiting and waiting. I thought, you know what? We've got to make our move. So Tyson Fury was rumoured to be fighting on September the 14th. And our team just went out and said, I said, tell me the venues that are available around America on September 13th. They came back, they said Madison Square Garden's available. As soon as they said that to me, I'd like to tell you that I came up with the idea. As soon as they said that to me, I said, that is where we're going. I text Bill Haney and I said, Devin Haney times MSG. This is a match made in heaven. You know, this guy is going to be a national superstar, but there is nowhere like New York to establish yourself, you know, in the media capital at Madison Square Garden as a superstar. So as soon as I found out that was available, we put these fights together. Such a great card. You know, we know it only holds 3,500, 4,000 in that theatre. It's going to be completely banged out, and it's a natural progression for Devin to fill the theatre before he fills the main arena, which is only a matter of time.
Thanks so much, Eddie and Devin, best of luck on September 13.
Thank you. The next question comes from Keith Idek with BoxingScene.com. Please go ahead.
Yes, my first question is for Devin. Devin, obviously Lomachenko is favored to beat Luke Campbell, but what do you think of that fight? Who do you think will win and why?
I think that is a good fight. Luke Campbell, he's tall, he's long, and he can box, and he has experience. So you can't overlook him. But Lomachenko, you know, is obviously Lomachenko, and you know everyone, you know, has him the favorite to win. I don't think it's going to be as easy as everyone thinks, but I do see Lomachenko being victorious.
Okay. And what do you think of Abdullaev? What are his strengths and weaknesses? What's your opinion of what you've seen from him so far?
I think Abdullaev, I think that he's very technical. Like he doesn't really take too many chances, but he's a more straight up and down, you know, stick to the basics. And so sometimes those are the toughest fights, especially against you know, a fighter like me who's very like versatile and you know takes a lot of chances. The guys who are very straight up and down and you stick to the basics, use the jab, 1-2. It doesn't take many chances, can give you a lot of problems.
Devin, how good did it feel to score the kind of knockout that you did against Antonio Moran in that fight, and kind of show people what kind of power you do have when you're in the right position to use it?
Oh, it felt great. It was the perfect fight for me. The fight went perfect. I went in there, I boxed. I showed my boxing ability, I showed my skills, and then I knocked him out. It couldn't have went any better.
Eddie, what did you think of what he showed in that fight, and especially the way he knocked him out?
I thought it was brilliant. I mean, it's tough as a promoter because you want to tell fighters to take chances. You want to tell fighters to, give the fans what they want. And obviously the game plan for a fighter is to hit and not get hit. But after about 6 or 7 rounds in that fight, I think it might have been a minute before the knockout, I just turned to someone and said, this is such a perfect performance. Can you imagine if he could produce the knockout now? And that was the perfect ending for a technically profound performance, and then finishing it with a knockout of the year. And that's what superstars do. They don't coast through fights. They're exciting. They're exhilarating. They make you want to make sure you don't turn off your TV or your handset because they've just got to watch Devin Haney. And that's the kind of performance that's going to make people come back time and time again and watch it.
Eddie, having been down this road before with the WBC with Dillian White when he was, he's the mandatory challenger, but he never got the fight. Have you received an assurance from them that Devin will fight the winner next of this fight, or how has that happened so far?
No, I mean, Devin will be the mandatory. If he beats Abdullaev, he'll be the mandatory. You do have the issue to overcome of if Lomachenko beats Campbell, of him fighting the Commie against Teofimo Lopez winner. We don't know when that fight's going to happen. That fight's not scheduled at the moment. So we want to put as much pressure as we can on the WBC to make sure that Devin Haney gets his shot. We've been there before. Sometimes it's worked, sometimes it hasn't. You never know what you're going to get in boxing, but we feel that with the pull of Devin Haney and the demand of people wanting to see that fight, Devin's got a great chance to fight for that title. And he's shown a huge amount of loyalty to the WBC. He's been offered world championship fights with other governing bodies, but he's willing to go through a fight. Let's be honest, this is a really, really tough fight, and not a lot of people have heard of Abdullaev. Most people would be swerving this fight, but he says, no, I want to get into that mandatory position. And we will make sure that we will sing and we will dance and we will shout from the rooftops about him getting his shot. So if people don't want to fight Devin Haney, they don't want to fight Devin Haney. There's not a lot you can do about it. But, I do think he would be allowed a unification matchup, Lomachenko, after the Campbell fight if he won. And that said, if Campbell can pull off the big win, he'll be fighting Devin Haney straight away in a huge fight for 3 belts and the Ring Magazine World title.
The next question comes from Stephen Muehlhausen with SportingNews.com. Please go ahead.
Thank you guys for getting on the call today. And Devin, the question's for you. Eddie was talking about, putting pressure on the WBC, but what in the situation they've had with Dillian. But what if you get to that 6-month mark and there's no word on the title shot? Are you willing to wait? How long are you willing to wait to get the shot at the winner of Lomachenko and Campbell?
One thing I can say is I don't want to wait too long because my body's still growing, my body's still maturing. So if I can't get a shot at a world title at 135, I'll move up and campaign there. But of course, I do, like Eddie said, I do want to be a multi-weight world champion. So I will stay at 135. As long as I can to. If I know that I'm going to be fighting for a world title, but if not, I'll move up to 140 and campaign there.
When do you foresee that move to 140?
Well, it all depends on if I fight for a world title at 135.
If you do fight for a world title at 135, everything works out as according to plan with that you and Eddie and your dad have worked out. When do you think the timeline will be that we'll see Devin Haney at 140 pounds?
I'm not sure because I don't know. We just would have to see. Who knows? I don't know how the 135 division plays out. I don't know. If I win a world title and it's a mandatory challenger and it's a big fight or what? I'm not sure. And like I said, I'll stay at 135 for as many big fights as possible. But if I'm gonna just keep fighting for a final eliminator, then it makes no sense. I'll move up.
Has this ascent surprised you? Because you look at, you headline your first show at the end of May. You have one of the best knockouts of 2019, and now you're going to the #1 media market in the world and headlining a show there. Is all this surprised you at all, or is this gone according to you?
It doesn't surprise me, but I'm very excited. I knew that this time would come, but I didn't think this soon. But I'm very thankful for the opportunity. Every time I go to New York, they show me crazy love. So I just look forward to putting on a good performance. And showing the world what Devin Haney's made of once again.
And Eddie, I had one question for you, and it's a non-Devin question. I just wanted to get a quick comment from you about the report yesterday from The Athletic about Andy Ruiz, Anthony Joshua taking place in Saudi Arabia. Can you respond to that report?
Yeah, this is a Devin Haney call, and there'll be an announcement very soon about Anthony Joshua's next fight.
Thank you, Eddie.
Again, if you have a question, please press star, then 1. The next question comes from Eddie Goldman with No Holds Barred. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Hi, everybody. Devin, I want to know what you really know about your opponent, Abdullaev, because there's all this talk about Lomachenko and Campbell. You have to get past this guy. And aside from looking at some video and his record, from what I understand, the guy comes from one of the toughest parts of the world, the Caucasus in Russia, where a lot of fighters in many combat sports come from. It's near Dagestan, it's near Chechnya. What do you really know about this guy and his background?
Yeah, I don't really know too much about his background, but one thing I can say is, it doesn't matter where you come from, what you did to. When you get in the ring with Devin Haney, his skills pay the bills. He might come from the roughest place in the world, and I understand that, and that's good and all. But when he gets in the ring with Devin Haney, he's going to understand that it's something totally different that he's never seen before.
Do you think this is going to be more of a boxing match, or have you worked out some general approach to him? I mean, he has a bunch of knockouts, but not in all of his fights. Like when he fought Hank Lundy, he just won by decision, and that fight was in Russia. I mean, so what do you anticipate in this fight?
I think it's going to be a good fight because I feel like he's going to come forward. He's going to try to press the action. Against me, he's going to try to put the pressure on me. So that always makes for a good fight with Devin Haney. I'm just going to go in there and I'm going to put on a good performance. I'm not going to say what I'm going to do, because one thing I can say is I'm able to adjust to whatever my opponent brings to the table. But what I can say is going to be a very exciting fight, and it's going to be a fight that you wouldn't want to miss.
And how are you going to stay focused again on? Because a lot of the questions were about future fights and moving up in weight. How are you going to stay focused on this fight? Because Anthony Joshua recently said he wasn't focused. He didn't feel focused in his fight with Ruiz because he was thinking about Wilder and Fury and all these other things. And so how are you going to stay focused on this guy?
Well, honestly, this fight is really motivation for me, because if I don't get through this fight, none of those things will happen. So, and I understand that. So I know that I need to go in this fight, and not only win, but look good in it. So the boxing world can demand the fight with Lomachenko or Luke Campbell or any of these other world champions.
Okay. Do you want to make a prediction for the fight?
Devin Haney victorious.
All right, good luck. Good luck in the fight.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Once again, if you have a question, please press star then 1. The next question comes from Jake Donovan with BoxingScene.com. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Devin, I know everyone's, asking you about all these questions about the future, but what I wanted to ask is, do you find it advantageous that you'll actually know the winner of Lomachenko, Luke Campbell, going into your fight?
Wait, say that again for me, please?
I'm sorry. I was going to say, do you find it advantageous that the Lomachenko-Luke Campbell fight actually takes place before yours, that you'll already know the winner, and that it kind of, sets the bar for, what you're fighting for?
Yeah, I actually like that. I'm going to know that, when I win this fight, who I'm in line to fight. So after the fight, when I win, I can call out the exact person, or I don't have to wait for it. I can say, oh, the winner, this. No, I'm going to be able to call out the exact person that I want to fight. Well, that is the world champion.
Right, world champion. And then you were saying that you're a firm believer in everything happens for a reason, all about timing. Had you gone straight to the upside, you're saying you're a firm believer about everything being all about timing. Had you gotten the straight shot, you'd only been fighting for 1 belt. So do you think it's to your advantage now? Also, you're going to be fighting, you're potentially fighting for 3 belts with the win.
Yeah, like I said, time is everything. Everything is all done into place. It could not happen any better, and when I win those 3 belts, it's gonna look like like we planned the whole thing.
Right, definitely. And then I want to kind of change topics. I saw that you were enrolled for drug testing with Bada for this fight. I just wanted to get your take on drug testing. I know Eddie's always talking about how drug testing in the U.S. is kind of a joke, and he's right. So I just wanted to get your take on the importance of it.
Yeah, I think it's very, very important, especially in the sport of boxing, because this is not like baseball where you just hit a home run and it's just the crowd goes no, in the sport of boxing we're actually seeing people die in the ring. So I know that it's very important for me to be clean and and my opponent. I want to fight on a fair playing ground. I'm clean. I want my opponent to be clean, so we can put on a good fight for the fans. I'm not going to cut any corners, and I don't want my opponent to.
Very cool. Thank you so much, Devin. Looking forward to seeing you. Oh, sorry. Yep.
And I also want to inspire those people, the young guys coming up that that this is the way to do it. Clean boxing is where it's at.
Definitely. All right. Very cool. Thank you so much, Devin. Looking forward to seeing you next month.
Thank you.
This ends the Q&A session for the call. I would like to give the floor back to Devin for closing comments.
I just want to say thank you to everyone that called in. Everyone for all the support. September 13th. I look forward on a great performance. This is going to be my best performance up to date. Because I've always felt that the better opposition, the better I fight. I will rise to the occasion, and I look forward to shining at Madison Square Garden.
The conference is now concluded. Thank you for attending today's presentation. You may now disconnect.